Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatin Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktin Bhavadir Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devagi Nandanaya cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, text number 9. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Please repeat the sloga behind me. So while repeating, yes, this is the sum of the words. It is splitted and put it here in the meanings. Okay. So if it is hard for you to read this, you can refer the below the splitted words. It is the maroon color. Okay. Okay. So let us please repeat the sloga behind me. Ekam ekatara abhave yada na upalabmahe traitayam tatra yo veda sa atma swa ashraya. Word by word meaning. Please repeat behind me. Ekam, one. Ekatara, another. Abhave, in the absence of. Yada, because. Na, does not. Ubalabhamhe, respectable. Titayam, in 3 stages. Tatra, there. Yaha, the one. Veda, who knows. Saha, he. Atma, the super soul. Swa, own. Ashraya, shelter. Ashrayaha, of the shelter. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charna on the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupad. Translation, please repeat, begin me. All 3 of the above mentioned stages of different entities are interdependent. In the absence of one, another is not understood. But the Supreme Being, who sees every one of them as the shelter of the shelter, is independent to all, and therefore he is the supreme shelter. Purport. There are innumerable living entities, one dependent on the other in the relationship of the controlled and the controller. But without the medium of perception, no one can know or understand who is the controlled and who is the controller. For example, the sun controls the power of our vision. We can see the sun because the sun has its body, and the sunlight is useful only because we have eyes. Without our having eyes, the sunlight is useless, and without sunlight, the eyes are useless. Thus, they are interdependent, and none of them is independent. Therefore, the natural question arises concerning who made them interdependent. The one who has made such a relationship of interdependence must be ultimately completely independent. As stated in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate source of all interdependent objectives is the complete independent subject. This ultimate source of all interdependence is the supreme truth or Paramatma, the super soul, who is not dependent on anything else. He is Swa Ashraya Ashrayaha. He is only dependent on his self, and thus he is the supreme shelter of everything. Although Paramatma and Brahman are subordinate to Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is Purushottama or the supreme super soul, super person. He is the source of the super soul also. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.18, Lord Krishna says that he is the Purushottama and the source of everything. And thus, it is concluded that Sri Krishna is the ultimate source and shelter of all entities, including the Super Soul and Supreme Brahman. Even accepting that there is no difference between the Super Soul and the individual soul, the individual soul is dependent on the Super Soul for being liberated from the illusion of material energy. The individual is under the clutches of illusory energy, and therefore, although qualitatively one with the supersoul, B is under the illusion of identifying himself with matter, and to get out of this illusory conception of factual life, the individual soul has to depend on the supersoul to be recognized as one with him. In that sense, also, the supersoul is the supreme shelter, and there is no doubt about it. The individual living entity, the Jiva, is always dependent on the super soul, Paramatma, because the individual soul forgets his spiritual identity, whereas the super soul, Paramatma, does not forget his transcendental position. In the Bhagavad Gita, these separate positions of the Jivatma and Paramatma are specifically mentioned. In the fourth chapter, Arjuna, the Jiva soul, is represented as forgetful of his many previous births. But the Lord, the Super Soul, is not forgetful. The Lord even remembers when he taught the Bhagavad Gita to the Sun God some billions of years before. The Lord can remember such millions and billions of years as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.26 as follows. Vedaham samatitanim Vartamanani sa Arjuna Bhavishyani cha bhutani Mam tu Vedana Kashyanam. The Lord, in his eternal blissful body of knowledge, is fully aware of all that happened in the past and which is going on at the present and also what will happen in the future. But in spite of his being the shelter of both the Paramatma and Brahman, persons with a poor fund of knowledge are unable to understand him as he is. The propaganda of the identity of cosmic consciousness with the consciousness of the individual living entities is completely misleading because even such a person or individual soul as Arjuna could not remember his past deeds, although he is always with the Lord. And what can the tiny ordinary man, falsely claiming to be one with the cosmic consciousness, know about his past, present, and future? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shunyavad Pashasha Techa Tarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhrityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Today's sloka, it is talking about the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. Independent. So Lord is, there are two things are there, independent and dependent. So Lord always he is independent. We are all dependent. We are all depend on many things. Our entire life is depend on our, in this material world is depend on many things. Like the life air. If there is no air, we cannot live in this material world. No light, we cannot. No food, we cannot. So we are dependent on everything which is created by the Supreme Lord. But Lord is not dependent on anybody. And Lord is always independent. We are interdependent. So that's what yesterday we saw. Adi Atmika, Adi Devika, Adi Bhautika. So we are seeing that we are having the eyes. We are seeing that this is my eyes. Okay, this we can consider this is our eyes. And there is a in the vision, how we are seeing that using these eyes. Just if you remove the eyes, then that eye cannot see what is there in that. The sense, to seeing the sense, we have the sense. That sense is controlled by that sense is there, and this gross, that sense is subtle. We cannot see the sense, but the sense is there to see. And the gross thing is our eyes is the gross. And to connect the sense and the gross, there should be a connectivity. See, if there is a bulb and there is a switch, there is a wire is there. When there is a electricity, then only the bulb will glow, light will come, right? The similar way, just set up only the eyes and the sense, it cannot work. There should be a connectivity, power. Similar way, there should be a, for our eyes and our senses, there is a connection which is that is the Adi Daivika, that is the demigods. They are helping us to see the vision. So that means we are dependent on subtle way also, we are dependent on the demigods. It is not only the grossly, whatever we are seeing, okay, we are dependent on air, we are dependent on food. It is not like that. We are dependent on the demigods also. So that is the way we are all interdependent. So for that only, Prabhupada is giving the example of the sun and the living entities. Sunlight is there, sun is there. Suppose, so it is just for the illustration, for our understanding only, we cannot entirely get into that, the gross meaning. So what I am saying, what Prabhupada is saying is, suppose sun is there, we can able to see sun as the body. Because there will be a round, we are seeing sun as the body, from that light is coming. Because we have the sense, so to see, that's why we are able to see the sun. Suppose we don't have the eyes. So see, if there is no sun in the night time, for example, if it is like taking the no moon day, Amavasya, that time we are not able to see anything. Then the nature, I'm not talking, don't think about the electricity and all. Without electricity, how it will be? It will be fully dark. That means there is no sun. But we have the eyes to see, we have the eyes. But if there is no sun in the night, the Amavasya day, you cannot see anything. That means even though you have the eyes, if there is no other interdependent, because we are dependent with the sunlight, then only we can able to see. So if we have eyes, but there is no light, it's of nice or no, using this eyes, there is no use of his eyes. The similar way, if we don't have the eyes, so simply light is there. So the light, simply light, what is the use? There is no use of that. Within the house, we can say, if in the night, if we locked everything, if you wanted to see something, you need to put on the light, then only you can go around what is there, what is not there. Simply, we are going out, we are switching on the light in the house, within the house, we are going out. That light is no use here, because nobody is there. The no use of light is simply waste of electricity. So the similar way, the light and we are how we are interdependent. We depend on the light. And if we are not there, there is no use of light also. Simply light is blowing in, that's all. The similar way, the Lord made us interdependent. So that is the greatest thing. So if the intelligent person, they will ask, who made this interdependent? Okay, there is a light. So definitely that person, that will be useful for the person. So, and without the person, the light is useless. Without the light, the person is useless. Person's eyes is useless. So that means this light and this eyes are interdependent. This is the way Prabhupada is explaining. So the interdependent items are there. So we are all, what are the materially created, all are interdependent. This air, light, the sky, the earth, all are interdependent. So how greatly Lord made this interdependency. So definitely a person who is creating all this, that person must be independent. So that is the reason he is able to made us dependent. So in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Krishna is explaining to Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that, Arjuna, I am giving this knowledge. This is not the first time I am giving the Bhagavad Gita knowledge to you. Krishna is saying that millions of years back, I gave this same knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. From the sun god, it came to his son Ishwagu. Like that, it is coming into, and he is coming into the Guru, the Parampara. So this knowledge is coming into the Parampara. Since that Parampara got broken, that chain of discipline succession got broken, I am giving this same knowledge again to restart that knowledge to the living entities. That's the way, that's the reason 5,000 years back Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna. It is not only for this Arjuna. That's what from that statement we can understand the knowledge given to Arjuna. It is not only for Arjuna. Arjuna, the discipline succession got broken. So the future generation should know this knowledge. That is the reason I am giving to you. So from you, it will restart the knowledge. But Arjuna he was wondering, how can Krishna says that he was millions of years back, he gave his knowledge to sun god. He was also born. Because almost Krishna and Arjuna, they were equal age when they were in this material world. The material bodily concept of life, because Krishna also born in Madura and Arjuna, he is also Pandava. When there are almost equal age. So how can Krishna, you can say that you just before that war only means you just born. You may be 100 years before only born. So how can you say that millions of years back you were there? I don't remember. That's what Arjuna was wondered. So for that reason, Krishna is saying that Arjuna, you are changing the body. You are every birth and death, you are controlled by the birth and death and time. So you are changing the body every time, but I am not changing the body. So Lord's body, even millions of years back, also same body, and today also the same body, and in the future also it will be the same body. Lord won't change the body, but our body is made up of dead matters, earth, water, fire, and it is supposed to be, it is decayed, it will go off. When it is not useful, we will just change the body. That is the knowledge Krishna is giving to Arjuna. So that means Lord is there and always he is independent. And that he is establishing in the 15.18th sloka. So in 15.18th sloka, Yatmaksharam Atito Aham Aksharat Abhichatamaha Ato Asmi Loka Vedecha Paritaha Purushotamaha. So if you see the meaning, because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible. Fallible means our material world is fallible. Fallible means it is subject to creation and annihilation. And the infallible, the spiritual world is infallible. Why it is infallible? It is always remain. There is no annihilation for infallible. So that is the reason the supreme world is called infallible and our material world is called fallible. So the fallible, and infallible. So he is saying that I am transcendental. Transcendental means I am beyond both the fallible and infallible. So you cannot say I am infallible. We cannot say me as a fallible because I am beyond to both. Because since he is beyond to both, that is the reason he is able to create spiritual world and material world, and one is permanent and the other one is subject to creation, annihilation, subject to creation, annihilation. It is a cycle. Our material world is subject to creation, annihilation. And because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. So he's saying that. So here Krishna himself is confirming that I am the supreme person, where even in our material world and the spiritual world, as well as in the Vedas, everywhere it is clearly mentioned that the Supreme Lord, Krishna is a Supreme Person. So that is the reason he was establishing in Bhagavad Gita also. So from this statement, we can understand Krishna is the Supreme Person. He is independent of all. He is always remain, and he is beyond this material as well as the spiritual world. So he is transcendental always. Suddha Sattva. So that is the way Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita. And also in Bhagavad Gita 7.26, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani sarjuna abhishyani sabhutani mam tu vedana kaschanam. So here in the 1.26, Krishna is saying that, oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So this is the one of the greatest statement, knowledge Krishna giving to Arjuna. That means since he is a supreme personality of Godhead, he know everything. What happened in the past, what is happening in the currently, and what will happen in the future. Our understanding is we are limited. We are limited means what is happening in front of the eyes, only that thing we can see, and certain thing we cannot see also. In front of our eyes, there are millions of microbums are there. We are not able to see the microbums. That means we are limited. What is happening, we are limited only. And our vision also limited. So we cannot see what is happening, even though it is an open space by some far away, some 5 kilometer away, 6 kilometer, 10 kilometer away, what is happening, you cannot see. Even though you have the eyes, if it is supposed, even though if it is a flat surface, you cannot see what is happening there because our eyes are limited. And if we are saying that the sun is like a small plate, it's not a small plate. So our earth is just one of the spark from the sun. So how vast the sun is, how big the sun is. But our eyes are camouflaged to see that it is only the small disk. We are seeing it's a small disk, but it's not a small disk. So that is the reason our eyes are and our vision, it is imperfect. So our senses are imperfect. So with these imperfect senses, we cannot, even we are unable to see this material thing also perfectly, then how can we see the super soul, the supreme Lord? It is not at all possible. We are very, very, very ordinary persons. And also we are subject to affected, controlled by this material world also. This Yogama, this Mahamaya, we call it as Mahamaya, that is controlling us. Yes, we are addicted to our senses. We are the slave of our senses. If something we wanted to see, we will see. We wanted to see the nature. We are addicted to that. And we wanted to smell. We are addicted to our smell. We are addicted to taste. We are addicted to hearing something. If it is some good movie song, everyone will repeat the same song. But even though so many slokas are there, we will forget the sloka. But even after 10 years, 20 years also, if the same movie song, we can remember. But the sloka, if you study, after 10 days, 15 days, if you ask the same sloka, we will forget. Because spiritual thing is like that. Because we are thinking that this material, this Maya is very much attractive, and it is, and we are going in that direction. We are very much affected by this Maya. That is the reason we are catch hold of the Maya. Because of that, this material things are very much good for us. We tasteful, and for hearing, for seeing, for tasting, for smelling, for all those things, material things are very much, we are thinking that this is the best thing. See, some pig, some dog is eating in the garbage. The dog is thinking that thinking that is the best thing. It's available to eat. But there are, apart from that garbage, there are so many places are there to eat. But the dog doesn't aware where to go and get the food. It is thinking that now it is available, I have to eat. The similar way, we are also thinking we don't have the knowledge about the spiritual world. So we are thinking that whatever I am this body and this material world is everything. So I need to, oh, this is whatever is here, that is the greatest thing. Whatever I am thinking, it is the greatest. Of course, it's the greatest thing because this material world and the material things also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. It is controlled by the Supreme Lord. It is, even though it is controlled by the Yogamaya, so Yogamaya and Mahamaya, both Mahamaya and Yogamaya, both are under the control of the Supreme Lord. So the Maya Devi also under the control of Supreme Lord. But We are seeing that we are thinking that falsely we are thinking we are not, I'm not dependent on, I'm the independent, I'm not dependent on anybody. And we are falsely thinking that I am the master. These are all the false identity. So the identity, when a person, they identified themselves, I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. I am dependent on this demigods as well as I'm dependent on this nature as well as the Supreme Lord. When they understand all those things, then our false will ego will go off. Without that, we will be in the our false ego only. We are false ego means I am the whole and soul, I am the master, I am doing everything. So these are all because the lack of knowledge. So by hearing this Bhagavad Gita, by hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, we can able to understand that there is a supreme person, there are demigods, they are controlling, they are because of the Supreme Lord's permission, this all the creation is happening, the vegetation is happening, the sun is coming, everything controlled by the Supreme Lord. We are not the controller, everything controlled by the Supreme Lord. Even I am also controlled by the Supreme Lord. So that is the way our understanding should be there. If a person understand that I am nothing in this material world, that is the perfect understanding. If you are, if the person is thinking that I am everything, I have so much of money, I have so much of pride, I can do anything, that is the false understanding. Everything, I am just a instrument in the hands of the Lord. If a person understands that perfectly, that is the that is the that is the perfect understanding. So we have to understand and we have to follow that footsteps of Arjuna. So Arjuna, how he identified how the knowledge given by Supreme Lord to Arjuna, he was able to follow his instruction, and he was victorious in his vision of the Mahabharata war. The similar way, if we are also follow the instructions of Supreme Lord, if you understand the creation, understand the Supreme Lord, understand the demigods, then we can understand our position. If we understand our position, then there won't be any, we will be in the path of perfection only. So because of we are not, without understanding, because of we are in the ignorance, we are falsely we are identifying ourselves. So the today's sloka, it is Sukadeva Goswami is giving the knowledge that Supreme Lord is the independent and he is the supreme shelter for all the living entities, all the demigods, for everyone. Supreme Lord is the shelter, and we are also dependent. We are dependent on the demigods. Demigods depend on us. How can we can say that demigods depend on us? Because when Lord said in Bhagavad Gita, Lord is saying that when Lord creation in this material world, he said created the demigods also to control these material creations. And to control that, so the living entities need to do the yajna. Through the yajna, the demigods will be satisfied. So since the demigods satisfied, for repayment, what they will do? They will give this rain, sunlight, vegetation, everything the demigod will help, and for our controlling our body also. So everything will go nice. So we have to satisfy demigods. In the return, demigod will satisfy us. So that with the demigods, we have the policy of give and take. But who is the original giver? Both demigods and ourselves, both are controlled by the Supreme Person, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So this is the understanding we can get from this sloka today. Hare Krishna. Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.